And he said that bad luck came to his life. He lost everything. And so he went back to Australia. And he said that he went home only with his bag. And that was all that he owned. And the world full of troubles. And then when he arrived in the airport, he noticed that his fellow passengers were being embraced by their family members. And no one was meeting him. And he felt so lonely. He wanted someone to hug him. And so what he did, crazy thing, his name is One Man. It's funny. J-U-A-N-M-A-N-N. One Man. But actually, it's really you and me. And I really think of that, you know. What he did was he got this huge piece of white cardboard and a huge pen, and he wrote down 3 hugs because he wanted someone to hug him, and he felt so lonely. You know, he lost everything, and he walked on the street, and he put up that board, that poster, 3 hugs, and for the first 15 minutes, no one minded him. You know, they looked at him, they looked at his poster, and they walked past him. And then he said, you know, and then finally, one person tapped him on the shoulder, and that person said, "My dog just died." And so they hugged each other. And then another woman touched him, and she said, "You know, this is the first anniversary of the death of my daughter. She was killed in a car accident." And they embraced each other. And after their embrace, she began to smile. And all through that day, people started hugging him and he hugging them. And it was so wonderful. This happened in 2004. You know, today, it's a worldwide movement in 60 countries. Where people would just put up a sign, walking on the streets saying 3 hugs. And you can just imagine the way people, I'm going to show you this video. Now the reason why the video touches me so much is because embrace is my form of prayer. Why? In fact, if you go to the book table, you'll find one of my prayer books. I wrote it. The title is Embrace. Why has embrace become a form of prayer? It is. It's in fact my basic prayer. Every morning when I wake up, I'd say, "Lord, embrace me." Why? You know the story. Most of you know the story. 40 years ago, my father, 75 years old at that time, wanted to repair a broken light bulb in the garage. And what he did was he stood on top of a little stool, reached for the light bulb, lost his balance. Obviously, he was 75 years old. And he started falling. And his head hit the hard concrete floor. And blood flowed out like it was a faucet of blood. We rushed into the hospital. Through an MRI scan, they discovered 3 blood clots, right, left, and dead center. They performed 2 brain surgeries. He lasted in the ICU for 5 long months. And we saw him deteriorate. I saw him wither and wilt every time I visited. He was getting weaker and weaker and thinner. I remember that one fateful night, the doctor called us up. And the doctor said, "You better rush here to your father. He can go anytime. He's in critical condition." My mother and I, we rushed to the ICU. And I went very near him, and I spoke to him. He was semi-unconscious for many days. I spoke to him and I said, "Dad, if you see Jesus anywhere, go home. Go to Jesus. We're okay." And then the miracle happened. His eyes opened. And with his arms, many tubes attached to those arms, he struggled to raise them up. And then he placed his hands on my cheeks. And then he pulled me down. And he did something that he has not done for maybe 20, 30 years. He gave me an embrace. He gave me an embrace. My father is not the hugging person. Probably he embraced me when I was a child. But after that, no more. And there, on his deathbed, he was embracing me. And a volcano of emotions erupted in my heart. For a moment I was happy, another moment I was sad, another moment I was angry. I was so happy my father was embracing me after so many years of not embracing me. I was sad because I was thinking this may be my last embrace from my father. I was angry because I was thinking to myself, why only now? Why not when you were stronger? I was angry at myself. Why did I not embrace my father? If he was not the hugging type, well, I could have embraced him still. And after a few moments, his arms collapsed. I took one step backward, put my arm around my mom, watched the doctors and the nurses attend to him. And after about 15 minutes, the doctor faced me and the doctor said, "Oh, you can go home now. Your father is out of critical condition." And I said, "Thank you." The next day I went back and my father was better. The next day I went back, my father was better. The next day I went back, he became better and better and better and better. And he left that hospital, walked out. And he lived for another 12 years. And during those 12 years, guess what we were doing? We were embracing like crazy. We would meet in a mall, mega mall. We'd say we'd meet in this restaurant. And when we're there and that restaurant was full, jam-packed, we didn't care. We'd put our arms around each other and gave each other a lingering hug. And that's why now you know why every morning when I wake up I say, "Lord, embrace me." It has become my prayer. You know what? I really believe this. Our deepest need is the need for love. In fact, all our needs, the need for success, the need for fame, the need for pleasure, the need for joy, all of those, peel all those needs, peel the covering away. Deep down, it's a need for love.